What's good, superstars? Back with another Veve video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Queen Veve, the queen herself, Lori Brenner, in the house. How's it going, Lori?
It's going great. How are
Are you
you?
ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, yo, I, I have to dodge. I have to dodge. I can't even get. I'm scared. I'm scared to get up. She brought out the weapons today. Oh my gosh, I was not
I did.
expecting that. So, Lori, honestly, very very pleasure to have you on the channel. Excited for this talk we're gonna have. I think it's really important for the community. So, can't wait to get into that. Um, if you guys are new here, don't forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification. You know, whenever we get amazing guests like Lori on the channel to talk about great things and great causes. Also, you can become a superstar VIP. Hit the join button underneath the video. $2.99 a month. Get star next to your name. All our buys and sells. If you want to advertise, first dibs on merch. Star in the universe being named tomorrow. So after one of the lucky VIPs, so it's your last chance to join the membership, and we're going to do a raffle. Shout out to all of the VIPs. You guys are amazing. There's our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and also the Discord where we get lots of ideas for video topics is in the description, and a PO box if you want to send us something that you made. Join the Superstar Hall of Fame. Also, I got one more plug we got to do here because she's on the channel and she's a big part of the community. It is Queen Veve, and it's at Lori Brenner 13 on Twitter. The reason I'm pulling up the Twitter page is because she's very, very active on Twitter, has Queen's Court on the Twitter spaces. So why don't you talk a little bit about maybe how you got into Veve, how you got into the Twitter space game, when your Twitter spaces runs, and what you talk about there.
Okay, absolutely. So when I got into Veve, my husband first got into it probably, I'm going to say April 2020, March, somewhere around that. And he's the one that got me involved. I was a little apprehensive at first. I didn't jump right in, but I would help him with the drops, and then eventually, when Spider-Man came on, I was in. So been around for quite a bit of time. In the beginning, I always would, go to YouTube. You weren't around then. You kind of came in that kind of second wave, but it was Randy and it was Cavell, Johnny Dunn, Comics and Crypto. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos and live chats, and it just started to get a little bit difficult because sometimes you ask a question and you guys can be behind or whatever. So it got just like I wanted to talk more directly to people. So I ended up in the Twitter spaces, and those are a little bit unique. They can be a little bit tumultuous at times, but totally open. Everyone's talking, everyone's giving their opinion. And one of the things that I kind of noticed was we have a lot of great spaces, but it's just a chance for the community to come together and talk. But we didn't really have a lot of organized, dedicated spaces. We have Back of the Class on Thursday, which is really more community based around different people in the Veve community. It's a great space by Emoji. I love it. And then we have Reverend Alex's Friday night Don't AMA, which is Don't AMA. And we had Orange Bag Lady, who is also really great, but a lot of her topics are more art focused. So we really didn't have, I didn't really notice any kind of venue. There's a lot of YouTubers for us to reach out to. We got you guys, we got Sleepin', we got, My Collects, a lot of great YouTubers out there, but we really didn't seem to have, a consistent, formal space put together in Twitter. So I decided, let's give it a go. Let's try this. Have a guest on, or have a couple guests on once a week. Have good questions, thoughtful questions. Devote the time to them, and let's see what they have to say. So it's Randy Chavez was my first guest, and it just kind of just rolled. Basically, we try to do once a week. Sometimes I take off a week, and sometimes we have two guests in a week. But usually that's because of their schedule. We try to do Wednesdays around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But once again, it depends on the guest. A couple weeks ago, I had Dr. Prophet on the court. And, given that he's over in Europe, it was a 2:30 time. So we don't really have a time, but more or less, we usually like to go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday evening Eastern Standard Time. But like I said, it just depends on the guest. You know how that goes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
got to work
No,
around
and
your.
it's good because you always keep that same name, so I always know that it's that space because it's not like it's a changed title. It's always Queen's Court, and then you got whatever featuring Dr. Profit, featuring Al Khan, whoever's on the
Right.
space there. So I really like it because I know, like, okay, this is a legit space. Jump in here and listen. Typically, like you said, you're on late or later in the day on our side, and we're usually gearing up to make a video. So we're listening, actually, like getting topics sometimes from your stream. Might not be talking, but we're in there all the time listening. So
Well,
really
thank you.
appreciate what you guys do and what you're doing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to stay consistent and keep bringing it every single time. And you got to deal with, like you said, Twitter Spaces are a little bit emotional sometimes,
Emotional.
unfiltered. Yeah, unfiltered. You see the community for what it is. And the thing is, like, I think the fact that it gets to that point sometimes, it shows you like how passionate and like how connected to the project the community
Right.
is. And they may believe different things, but I think at the end, everybody, if this thing's successful, everybody would start to band together, right? So I mean, right now we're going through a bear market, a little bit of a crypto winter here. It's got people on the ropes, but I think in the end, the vision's here. I know you were at Decon, we were at Decon. We saw what it's about. So I think we're going in the right direction, and people like you who are hosting on other platforms like YouTube, like you said, it's not the only platform. It's a great way to get immediate interaction, and it's voices. It's not just typing on the side chat and hoping that the person pulls it up. It's cool like that. So no, I'm
Right.
really grateful for what you guys are doing over there.
Well, thank you. And wherever we can get, exposure, because not everybody likes Twitter. Not
Yeah,
everybody likes YouTube. Not everybody wants to has an Instagram account or a Facebook page. So as many different, means social media that we can touch, that we can reach out to. People consume their media all kinds of different ways. So,
yeah,
sometimes maybe they want to watch a video and hear you guys and watch you guys, and maybe sometimes on the way to work they just want to listen to a space. So, really that's kind of where the Queen's Court was born. Just another avenue, just another social media avenue.
yeah,
And I hope to see this grow, and other places. TikTok, I noticed you guys had a TikTok. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
small. It's we posted some clips here and there. I mean, we're primarily here, and obviously we interact on Twitter, but we don't do our own spaces or anything like that. We leave that to the professionals. We're doing the daily grind. If things change up for us, maybe we'll start to do content on multiple platforms. But until
Right,
we're done doing like the daily thing here, I
right.
think we're gonna stick to YouTube. But I mean, like you said in there, when you're on the way to work, when you're on the way home from work, Twitter Spaces, that's what we're doing. I mean, we're jumping in whenever those are happening. So especially in
Right.
the car, like, because you can't be watching the video while you're driving. You shouldn't be watching
Yeah,
when you're driving.
right, and, we listen to YouTube too. I'm just saying, different people consume their media a little
Yeah,
bit different. So the more that we can get out there, and the more people that we can have in these different areas, the more exposure we're gonna get, and ultimately, we can impact growth that way. So, like
yeah,
I said, that was just a little niche that I saw, like, why? It just wasn't, it didn't seem to be fulfilled. So I thought maybe, this is just a place for people to come in. And, you're absolutely right. Some people, it's amazing. I don't think they realize what it takes. Like, I saw your interview with Reese, and it was really good. It was really well thought out. There were a lot of good questions there, and you can't just do this. I think people kind of forget that you just can't do this on the fly and it turn out well. We got to work at this, right?
oh, yeah,
And I don't know about you, but I'm not making any money. This is passion, right?
yeah,
Maybe a little bit here and there. I get you got, little subscriptions here, but for the most part, come on. No one's making their full-time living off of this. But I think in some instances, a lot of the content creators I talk to treat it, you know, just as serious, the recordings and the editing, and so I get it, I
yeah.
hear you,
it's it's a
thank
lot. It's a lot, but it's
you. It is.
it's like you said, it's easy because it's something that we're passionate about, that we were talking about anyway. So like I would call him and we'd talk about it. I'm like, why don't we just put this on YouTube? I did some research. saw that there was a community, but it wasn't the biggest community on YouTube, kind of like you did with Twitter. You just mentioned you saw the space in the void there. Now we're starting to get a lot more creators, but at the time when we joined in January for YouTube, like we started YouTube in January, and at that time, like you mentioned, there was like 5 or 6 that were really dedicated.
Yep.
So I said, you know what, we had a little bit more of a statistical data approach, which I didn't think that anybody was doing quite yet. So we wanted to review the numbers, the money being spent, all that stuff, and use that to make decisions. And we've been successful with it, which is why I think the channel's done so well over the year. But I mean, I think same thing goes for you. You've brought something different that doesn't exist to the space. And I think anybody out there who's thinking to start a channel or to share, you got to look at what's out there and bring something to the audience that's a little bit different. Even if you just change one thing here or there, or you bring something just a little bit different, I think you're going to realize like real big time success. And the other thing is like this community is really united. Like the creators will push you and help you. Like Lori said, her first videos or her first Twitter space was interviewing Randy Chavez, and he was one of the biggest YouTubers at the time. So it shows you type of character that they have, where they're willing to come on the channel or come on the Twitter spaces and support other creators. That's what at least what I got from Decon and from meeting everybody, is that really welcoming for creators. So if you guys have a passion to do that, I highly suggest starting something.
Yeah, the creators are amazing in this community. And after Randy, it was comics and crypto, and you know, I knew them. I had a better relationship with them, and like from some of the spaces, like, you know, I don't think, like you said, you're not on Twitter, but you know, I was kind of lucky where, you know, I got to talk to them through Twitter, etc. But all the creators, like even last night, I was talking with Johnny Dunn, and he's like, "Why aren't you posting your court on YouTube?" And I'm like, you know, Johnny, you know, that's not what I would, you know, that's not really what I'm thinking of, you know. And he's like, "I'll help you, you know, just put them on there, you know." And because I'm thinking, we don't need another, like you said, you got to bring something different, right? You know, do we really have the room for that? Do we need another YouTuber necessarily? Where can we fit in? Where can we plug other holes? But every content creator I've reached out to, you know, everyone's been overwhelmingly helpful or appreciative of each other. So 100% a great group of creators.
I think Johnny Dunn's onto something there. I think you would do very well on YouTube, even with just a recording and picture of the Queen there and just playing it, because I mean, people like to consume content different ways. Maybe they don't like going through the Twitter feed. I think you would do well no matter where you go, because you have that passion. So anyway, let me jump into the Veve Twitter space, or the Veve Twitter feed. Talking about Twitter spaces got me jumbled up.
I'm sorry, let's go. Let's do it.
Today we had a drop. It was the Avengers Tower. We did price predictions on this. We didn't think it would sell out, and we had a price prediction of 40 gems. If I pull it up quickly, it hasn't sold out. Only 1,500 have sold. I think I had predicted like 2,250. So I think they're still going to sell more of them. The reason I think that is because the market price right now is at 44.50, which is kind of close to box. So you got people maybe willing to take their chances on a good mint number. Maybe try and get something, because we've seen that before with I think it was Obi-Wan or something. Like it traded near the box price, so people kept buying the box trying to get specific numbers. So
maybe. And then lightsabers did the same thing. We have a thing on Twitter sometimes when we'll get bored in a space, and we'll call it degenning. So we call it roulette. So like we'll get a bunch of people and they're all hyped up, and we'll just go for it just to see what we get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've heard that. I think it was Dino or someone else was doing that for the Obi-Wan. It's like same type of thing. You guys just go on and you guys all like instigate to buy some more from the store.
We did funny. That hard in Squirrel Girl. You know, what the hell, $7, you know, you get a bunch of people together on a Friday night, and you know,
it's fun to see what people hit, right? Maybe you hit a secret rare, who knows? So,
or a good number, you know. So I agree with you. I could still see people going in trying to get, you know, the sub 100 numbers or the 616. I don't know if that one came out yet. I know a lot of people wanted the 616.
So it's doing all right, like 44.50. But the top listing there is a superstar. It seems like superstar 06. So if you're out there, make sure you leave a comment. Other than that, there's been a bunch of vault creators going off with this. Shout out to Sal Sakesh, actually a superstar. He tweeted us. You can see us there, and Veve retweeted it. So he did a great action shot here. You got Doc Ock, you got Spider-Man. and you got Darth Vader's little thing there on the helipad. So really, really cool. I like how he does the angles. Like, I don't know, this can almost be a job. Like, you can be like a videographer in the Veveverse, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't do that if my life depended on it. I want to pay someone to come in and like organize my vault for me.
See, exactly. That's why it's so bullish. The Veveverse. There's going to be so many opportunities. I mean, for people who do this type of stuff. But there's so much stuff happening. I mean, Vivi's retweeting it in AR. Then you had Minnesota NFTs who showed that it could be like an extension to your vault. I don't know if it's going to restart here, but look at this. So they blew it up real big.
Wow.
And it's next to the vault now. So it's like now you have like a secondary area you can start placing collectibles right next to it. So
that's a great idea.
Different ways to use it. It's still pretty clean when it's that big. It's not blurry or anything. So I was wondering how big it gets in AR. I haven't seen anything yet to see the scalability of it, like outside, but I'm not going to do it yet. It's too cold over here.
I'm sure you'll see it soon. I'm sure that those creators they have mad skills.
They're amazing.
Props to them. Absolute props to them.
Not much else happening from Veve. It looks like they're taking a little break for the new year, as they should. I mean, and hopefully everybody else is having a safe new year. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So we're already there. 2023. It came quickly. This year flew by, I feel like.
Agreed.
Absolutely flew. Our Twitter. Yesterday I had Dino on from Me Viva Vidi, or Vita Veve. It was a tongue twister, that one. And people were calling him Tony Stark or John Wick. But I can see it. I can see it now. So shout out to Dino. He took it really, really well, and he's a great dude. I don't know if you've ever interacted with him, but really, really good guy and really smart. Like I learned a lot from him yesterday.
Yeah, I see a lot of people though on YouTube. I think there is still fear coming into Twitter. Even Casey Collects, she's recently been in Twitter. Kay Collects, and she was always on YouTube, and she said, I always didn't want to. I didn't really want to go there, but recently she's been hanging out with us in Twitter. So sometimes, we don't have we don't cross over a whole lot. Like I said, you and I, we've never crossed other than decon paths, really.
Yeah.
So
we got to spend more time over there. It's just like I said, once we decide to slow down the daily grind, I think that'll be a time when we start to explore other avenues, other social media platforms. Like we're there, like we have a Twitter, we're listening all the time. It's just we'll jump on occasionally, but it's literally like we're swamped. We get our time where we do Veve. And then the rest of the time you try to spend with family or working like your regular jobs, right? So
the one that pays for all
this. Yeah, exactly. The one that pays for your internet and your lights. Here's Ed. Obviously, he got a shut off from Veve before, and for good reason. But this is how I expected to see the tower used. All the superheroes hanging off of it. You got Doc Ock, you got Iron Man, Thor, you got all the Avengers there. Even Black Panther in the background. So Ed knew what we were waiting for. And here's that other one that I showed before. The other thing, I don't know if you've heard of this. I'm kind of excited about it. It's not really NFT related, but it's Disney related, and it's called Lorcana, and it's going to be like a trading card game similar to Pokemon, but like Disney characters. So I'm wondering if they have any plans to make any digital ties, like we've seen HRO and we've seen that type of Web3 involvement. So I was wondering if they were doing that. I don't know if anybody knows more details on that, but it seems like 2023 is going to be a year where Disney decides to release this. And since they've been dabbling in NFTs, I'm wondering if they have any plans for that.
Yeah, maybe they do. They do already have trading card platforms out there. They're not NFTs though. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They have a Star Wars. Yeah. That's been around for quite some years now, but they're just the cards, and you can't take them off app. There's nothing like that. So they actually do have a few trading card type of apps, but they're all on app type of things.
Yeah.
Small
on the phone or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe maybe this year's going to be different.
I don't count Disney out for anything. I mean, they're always trying to innovate. So I don't know. I was just wondering. I retweeted that especially because I wanted to hear from the community, and I wanted to bring it up on the video just in case anybody knows more.
Maybe.
I've been asking people to tweet us with any superstar money colors in the wild, and Bones Bonneville tweeted his sweater that has the same exact colors as our logo, which you can see down here. So it's a perfect match. And now I need to see how much he wants for it. So I can wear it on the videos.
Okay. Are you sure it's going to fit?
Hey, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll have to make adjustments, alterations if that's the case. Shout out to Veve Arcade. Also, he was talking about, like, I don't know, Vivian 3 obviously has moved on to work for Veve now. He's been doing these shorts that are giving a little bit of background on the tower and where you see it, maybe in the movies or something like that. So he's been grinding. He's also a newer creator, but he's been grinding to get you some more information about the items and the assets. So shout out to Kid Arcade over there. And then this is I purposely put this out here, and we've been pushing it a lot. I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with NFT Philanthropy, but
Absolutely.
They're doing all types of charity auctions. This one's for UNICEF. Obviously, by New Year's Day, they're trying to get an extra $500 to donate to UNICEF. Great cause. They're doing an auction, and whatever the final bid is, they donate that exact amount, I think. And sometimes more. UNICEF will be matching 5 times on this. So I think that's pretty good cause. You're seeing these types of things, and it's showing you the way that the community, like how the community is, and it gives you, like, even if you weren't able to go to Decon and experience it yourself and see the type of people and the great people that we met, these types of actions, like, are proving what type of people are in this community and willing to do things out of the goodness of their heart. They don't have to do any of this. They're spending time. He made an entire Twitter page dedicated to this. So shout out to NFT Philanthropy and all these types of contests. And Gus has been tweeting us all of them so that we can share them with our community. So, I mean, amazing people in this community.
Absolutely. And yes, I'm on their I'm part of their little their group, their Twitter chat. So
perfect.
Absolutely, that's amazing. Them putting up collectibles and, you know, having auctions and donating all that money to UNICEF. Great charity. 100%.
Yeah, so if you guys see this and you got some spare change hanging around, definitely you also get a collectible out of it at the end, right? So it's not the end of the world. Like, you're still getting something and you're also supporting a great cause. So that's that. Now, speaking of charity and giving and organizing and doing all this stuff, you had a recent really big Twitter Spaces with Alcon, and I think Jillian's his wife. Is that correct?
Correct. Jillian Crane is his wife, and Al is the founder of the First Responders Children's Foundation. Jillian is the president, the CEO and president of the First Responders Children's Foundation. And the way this came about, I don't know if you had heard the story or not, if people weren't on the stream, but 9/11 happened in New York City, and Al he lives in New York City. And after 9/11 happened, it was getting close to Thanksgiving, and he started to think about, wow, these are going to be, you know, this is going to be the first holiday that a lot of these first responders children, you know, that they're going to have to go without their parents. And he lost his father when he was 15 years old on Christmas Day. And he remembers, you know, that pain that he felt, you know, losing a parent at such a young age. And, you know, he started to think about all the kids that were left behind. There were, you know, a little over 800 children that were left without a mother or a father due to, you know, the loss of a first responder parent in the 9/11 emergency. So, you know, it was really kind of bothering him how this first Thanksgiving would be and this first holiday would go. And he, you know, he was kind of searching his mind. What can I do? How can I help these kids or ease their suffering a little bit? So he started going all over New York City looking for a restaurant, a banquet hall, a place that could house, you know, hundreds of people where he can host an event for the first responder families and these children. And finally, he found the NFL or ESPN Zone in New York City on Thanksgiving Day to rent out their entire facility as the Macy's Day Parade was happening. So he organized this with the city, with the, you know, ESPN Zone. He brought in, you know, food, decorations, and then massive amounts of toys, and hosted this huge event where, 99% of the people showed up. They really had a great time. They got to have breakfast. They got to watch the parade. They left with a bunch of gifts. Obviously it's not going to, fully take away that pain. But, he thought if he could just give them 3 or 4 hours of, of just happiness, of just joy, that maybe it would make their day a little bit better. And it did. It went over phenomenal. So he decided after that Thanksgiving Day drive that he would open up a foundation, because this was going to continue to happen as long as, we had firemen, we had police officers, we had these first responders putting their lives in the line. They were going to, unfortunately continue, to lose their lives for us. And that every year, every holiday, there were going to be children who were losing parents. So in 2002, he made it official and became the founder and CEO of the First Responders Children's Foundation. Since then, what they've done is they've continued this annual New York City event. So this year would have been the 21st one, and they're getting ready to celebrate their official 21st anniversary in 2023. So they're one of the few charities that has actually made it, that originated from 9/11. So in addition to this great breakfast and toy drive that they do in New York City, they also provide college scholarships, emergency bereavement, whatever people, children, etc., might need, financial aid for families, and families with children who have lost a first responder parent. They also provide something called the Toy Express. And in the past 3 years, they have provided 500,000 toys to 267 U.S. cities. So that day that I was talking to Jillian, she was out in LA working with the Los Angeles Rams to pass out toys to first responders, children of first responders, etc., who were dealing with, loss of parents, over the years, etc. In addition, I keep going here.
Yeah,
In
it's a
addition to
lot.
that, they also find out pretty much every week who has left a child behind as a first responder. They get the details on the child, what they like, what their age is, etc. And they put together a care package, and it's tailored specifically to that child. So if there is a firefighter who is lost in Dallas, Texas, they get that information and they find out, the age and the likes and the needs and the wants of that child, and they send them a care package, throughout the year. And recently, their most recent endeavor is dealing with the mental health crisis. So they're setting up organization, within their organization, specialized services to help deal with the mental health and provide monetary support, etc., to go towards, recovery and mental health issues that children are facing as a result of losing their parent. So great organization. Like I said, founded in 2022. So they're going on 2002. So they're going on their 21st year now in 2023. So amazing charity. So now that I've told you all that, what are we trying to do? So from now until January 3rd, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, we're running 2 drives or 2 ways to win. And the first one, what we're offering is a 1999 Charizard. It's a very, it's a pretty popular card. I think there's about 14,000 of them created. However, it still remains an extremely popular card. The retail value, the value that I paid for it, which was my contribution to the charity, was $250. Randy, our local Pokemon expert, believes it will be graded somewhere between a 7 and a 9. Right now it's ungraded, which can really go from 400 to, 1,500, depending on how it gets graded. But in addition to that base value, you'll also receive Alfred Kahn's signature on the card. And some people may not be aware, but Alfred is really the father of Pokemon. He discovered it when he saw some children playing a local game in Japan called Pocket Monsters. It was very localized to Japan. And he went back and convinced, the powers that be that this could be a global phenomenon. Obviously, the name Pocket Monsters wasn't ideal. So he changed the name to Pokemon and really brought Pokemon to the world as we know it today. So he will sign your card however you'd like. So if you want it personalized or if you just want it signed, whatever you want, he'll sign it. We'll take a photo, etc., of him signing that card. And in addition to that, you will also get 15 minutes phone call with Al. So I've been joking. If I know Al, it's going to be more than 15 minutes. But, you get a chance to talk with him. So it's a really great package. The way that you apply or the way that you go for this card is it's a blind bid auction. So essentially, you just send an email to queenscourtcharity@gmail.com, your name and your bid in USD. And like I said, January 3rd, 11:59:59 will go in. Whoever has the highest bid, they will have 24 hours to go to the charity, make the donation, provide that receipt to me, and tell me, we'll start working it out to where they get their card and setting up their time with Al. So that's the first way to win. We know everybody's a little broke. It's Christmas time. Not everybody has, is full of funds where they might be able to bid a couple hundred or a few $100s on it. So we're also offering the chance to win a 2003 Gyarados Pokemon card that I also retailed at $250. This is a more limited card. Very much a beloved card. It's also a holo card. And we're also going to give a signature on that as well. So Al will sign that same way to you or just sign it and we will ship that to you. Now, the way that you enter for a chance to win that is you're going to go to the First Responders homepage, which is 1STFR. Oh my goodness. One First Responders RCF. Okay. Yeah. So 1ST CRF.org. And in the upper right-hand corner, as soon as you go into the site, you're going to see in the upper right-hand corner a big red button that says Donate Now. You go in, you put your information in, and $10 per chance. So if you put in $10, you take a screenshot and you could send that to queenscourtcharity@gmail.com and you get one entry. If you put in $50, take the screenshot or send me your email receipt. You're going to get 5 chances to win. And then what we're going to do is on January 4th, I'll take all the entries and I will assign everybody a number. And you'll know your number in advance. And then I'm going to get back on Randy's stream and I'm going to do it live, just a randomizer. Put in, if we have 10 entries or we have 100, you'll know your number. I'll hit enter and, everyone will see. Number 39, you're the winner and you get the card. In addition to that, even if you don't get the card, we've had, some really good people who also want to donate. So we have Brock McBreadcat, Fiche's creator, who is also a huge charitable person within our community. He's donated 10 Fiches. We've had My Collectibles donate 3 of his drop heads. And just the other day, Sean and the Comics and Crypto team, they are donating a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle physical comic that is actually signed by one of the authors of the comic. So even if you don't get the card, you still have 14 additional prizes that you can win. So,
Nice. So we're gonna have to
so
add something to that pot. I think we might have to have a talk after this stream to get you some more prizes and some more incentive for you guys to go and support a great cause. I mean, the good thing, the really good thing about this is that I like that you guys did the spaces and it wasn't entirely Veve related. We got to learn about Alcon, like as not just the Pokemon guy. We got to learn about Alcon as the human being and the way that the way his heart is. And also, not only that, we got to learn about the woman behind Alcon, Jillian, and their contributions to the first responders charity. That is a great story. I mean, you just explained everything perfectly. I mean, I was in the spaces, I heard it, but I wanted to have you on here because we wanted to make sure that people who maybe aren't on Twitter or don't listen, they have opportunity to see this as well. Also, all those details that you gave are in this flyer that's been on the screen this entire time. But that flyer, I will put when I tweet this video out, I will respond to that video with your tweet of this flyer. So if anybody else wants the details, go check that out because it'll all be there. But like I said, you got us to learn a little bit about the type of people that are backing this project, which I think is fantastic. And it's amazing that you have also the two types of charity donations. So you can go for the go big or go home for the Charizard, or you can go in with a bunch of raffle tickets. And it's gonna, like, we know OUP's coming out with raffle tickets, so maybe this is a little bit precursor. See how your juju is. How lucky are you when it comes to doing this type of stuff here? So I mean, Lori, this is amazing, and we're happy to help you spread the message.
thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And like I said, it's a really great cause. And, from a personal kind of just a little bit of a side note of a personal story, just last, what is it, the day before Christmas, my grandmother entered the hospital and my husband's mother entered the hospital, and both of them are not in the best shape, but my mother's 65 years old, my husband's in his early 40s, and watching them try to cope with a sick parent, and knowing a parent is probably not going to be around for much longer. It's just it's heartening. It's so difficult for them, and these are people who have years of life experience. They've been around, that it's not their first rodeo. They know and they're struggling immensely with it. So that was one of the things my husband said. He's like, I know we're not supposed to kind of donate because we're running the charity, but he's like, look at me, I'm a mess and I'm in my early 40s. Can you imagine a 10-year me at 10, or you know what I mean? So I mean that's really kind of just made this even more. I'm going to go do what I got to do. I'm pounding the pavement. I'm on with Johnny. I'm hitting up comics and crypto. I'm with Randy. I'm on Facebook. I'm just trying to get this out. Think about if it was you or if it was your child, and just like I said, just that package, even if it's only a couple of minutes, I see, like with my husband, even if he gets, 5 minutes of a joke or something, it's just a break, something just for a few minutes or a few hours really goes a long way. So
yeah, no, really, obviously we're keeping your family in our prayers as well. We know Rob's going through a little bit of a tough time now too. So you guys have been really helping. I talked to him and he's seen all your messages and support and prayer. So he sends us thanks for that as well. But I mean, like you said, that these real life things actually make this stuff hit or closer to home, and especially around the holidays when you're supposed to be spending time with the same family and friends, it's when it makes it a lot harder. So like she said, keep in mind all the people struggling out there, and if you have the means, you don't have to do it. If you have the means, definitely see what you can do. If not, obviously maybe pass a message on to people that that have the means. Maybe that's the best way to go about it, and then you did your part, you paid it forward. But
even a retweet, even a retweet to somebody, like
you never know who's going to see it.
You never know who's going to see it. If you don't have the means, don't do it. But even if you could retweet it on, that would be, that would be appreciated. Anything anybody could do.
No, so I mean, I think that's it, guys. I think we got the message out there. We learned a lot about another community member on the Twitter space. I know a lot of you guys are listening to her Twitter spaces all the time, anyways. But if you didn't know about her, again, please go shoot her a follow on Twitter and jump in and listen. You don't have to go on stage. You don't have to talk. There's no pressure. But it's always a great conversation. It's different conversation, like unfiltered a lot of the times, and you hear people's real passion there. Like that's where you're going to hear the real dirt, right? So definitely.
Yeah, I don't hold back. I mean, to me, it's you can ask tough questions, but with respect, right?
Yes, yes.
There's nothing wrong with asking Reese or Al or Dr. Prophet a tough question. It's just how you ask it and doing it respectfully. So
yeah, and she gets great guests. You just mentioned you get great guests on there. You got Al, you've had Dr. Prophet, you've had a bunch of prominent people in the community from the team and stuff like that. So,
and I'm absolutely looking forward. Now that we know each other, and you guys don't do much Twitter, this might be the way to kind of
that's how we get in.
I know like this week we have Emoji. He's been hosting Back of the Class for over a year, so he's had other Twitter space. We're going to have Magic, Veve Magic. She's going to be on. And then we have Mr. David Yu coming on for the first time by himself. He did come up in one of the spaces with Al, but we got David coming on in January as well. So, yeah.
You guys got to be there for that. I know a lot of you guys want to hear what that man has to say. So,
we'll definitely ask him some tough questions. We got a Pokemon-ish answer out of him last time. I don't know if you remember that, but he's, so maybe we'll get some more.
Dave lets things slip here and there. And on Twitter, like you said, no editing. Something might come out that's not supposed to come out, right? So again, that's the Twitter page you want to be following. And you'll get the updates at the top whenever she's live on the Twitter space. So I think that's it. I have to do one more thing before we get out of here. I got to give you a standing ovation because that was a great job, a great explanation of the whole thing. I know that you're helping spread the positivity and bringing some smiles to a lot of people because of the work that you're doing there. So you should be commended for all that. And I'm sure that you're going to change a lot of lives. And there's people doing it. We've seen NFT philanthropy and all this. There's people who have great hearts in this community and changing lives basically. So really happy to have you in the community and have you helping Al and Jillian and get this whole thing going. And I know that there will be more. Like I know that down the line, this is not the beginning, not the end. And it just shows you the type of people in the community. So thanks again.
Thank you. And like I said, I look forward, maybe when Rob comes back and things are better, maybe you guys can pop in and get your feet wet on Twitter. And I promise I will not grill you guys too much. I won't even bring my boxing gloves. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I was scared. I was like,
I do have a guillotine though. I don't know what's. I think you'd rather have the glove.
Yeah. Maybe we'll bring some padding. I'll wear headgear or something.
Okay.
But thank you again for coming on. And guys, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button, become a superstar, hit the bell notification. You can learn all about great charities and great events like this that are taking place. We try to stay as connected to the community as possible. And maybe we're going to start doing Twitter spaces with Lori. I don't know what's going to be happening, but we're going to definitely be announcing it here. So make sure you have that bell on. Also, like I said at the beginning of the video, $2.99 a month, hit the join button. You can become a superstar VIP. Nice little star next to your name and all the perks that come with it. But guys, we will see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy